Nowadays, when we're living in a world where it costs an arm and a leg to even get groceries, how are we going to survive? And actually behind me is the answer. Tiny house. Today I'm going to be showing you guys all my systems I have in place for this house, my whole electrical system, everything that is powering it, what's been right, what's been wrong, and you know what I've had problems with. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'm going to do a deep dive of how I power my shipping container house. I know in the last video I was a little bit vague on some things, but there's a lot of stuff to cover in this container. I wanted to make some dedicated videos on explaining the systems in depth and what I have in place, what's went wrong, what hasn't went wrong, and what my plans are in the future. Moving up onto my roof, I have 3 racks of 4 panels each, so that comes out to 12 panels. They're 195 watts a piece, and they're from, if you can see right here, they're from Ecoworthy. They've been pretty nice so far. My only gripe with them so far is that they definitely don't output as much as they say they do. It might be partially some of my problem here. I'm kind of, that rack over there clear on the end kind of has some overgrowth. The tree kind of overhangs it a little bit, so that's definitely going to make that output just a little bit worse. But this here are the racks. These are the racks here. They're from Ecoworthy. They're pretty nice. The only thing that I do not like about them is to change the angle of them, you have to either move the legs closer to each other or farther apart. They don't just hinge on a single axis like some of them do, which makes it kind of annoying to adjust, which I need to adjust that. But all these panels are bifacial, meaning they can take in energy on this side here or this side here. And that's actually why I painted the roof silver up here, so hopefully that some of the sunlight will bounce down, bounce off the gray, and bounce back to the top of the panel or the underside of the panel and make some more energy. So that's the thought anyways. I don't know how well it's actually worked. But okay, so moving on over here. So the panels are hooked into series to each other, meaning the positive hooks to the negative of the one before it. What that does is that actually increases your voltage but keeps the amps the same. So each of these panels I believe is rated at 20 amps. So I would be 20 amps still on the output, and whatever my voltage is of each panel would add to the next one. So that's how that works. It's been pretty good so far. I have each of these panel racks tied in with these brackets here. They're bolted to the container itself, and it goes clear to the other side and it's bolted to that side. That's worked pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't allow me to, I guess I could put more racks up here, but it just makes it kind of hard. While I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and show this. This right here is my 1200 watt, it claims to be a 1200 watt wind turbine. I ordered it off Amazon, which I don't know how reputable they are, which it has worked. It's put out some energy for me. It's a 3-phase AC wind turbine. It gets converted into DC at a box that I will show you down in the utility room. But it's definitely put out some. I don't know how efficient it is. It's definitely cool looking though. So, I mean, who doesn't want a wind turbine? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on down to the utility room and show you how all that stuff is tied in. Alrighty, now that I'm in the utility room, these wires here are where the solar panels come down in. They feed into this breaker here, and then they go directly inside my inverter. This is a 5 kilowatt inverter, meaning it's capable of putting out just about 40 amps, which isn't too great, but it definitely works for what I need it for. This is a 120 system, so it doesn't do split phase. It doesn't do 240, but I guess not split phase, but you guys know what I mean. But my problem with this so far is I don't want to bash on a company, and don't take it that way. I ordered this stuff through Ecoworthy, which they are one of the best customer services I have ever worked with in my life. I will give them that. I was having problems with this inverter here. It was only putting out, 50 hertz, which in the US we run on 60 hertz. So running appliances on 50 hertz when they're designed for 60 hertz could damage my stuff in my house. So I was contacting them to see if I could figure out how to get this one here set right so it would run at 60 hertz. And the customer service had no idea how to help me. So they sent me another inverter for a shipping fee of $50. And these are a little over $700 a piece. So I thank them greatly for doing that. That definitely saved me. It saved me with that problem. But I'm having another one. And maybe you guys can help me. Maybe there's something I'm looking past on this. But so this is 4 batteries. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're 51.2 volts. And they're capable of outputting 50 amp hours. They're 50 amp hours a piece. So that gives me a battery bank of 200 amp hours, which isn't a ton. It's not a whole lot, but it's definitely should power what I've been powering so far. And my problem is, once my batteries get down to about 50%, they just completely drop off and die when there's hardly any load on them. So I am wondering if I have a bad battery. One of these batteries here are bad in the batch of them, which I'm going to have to do some testing and take them apart. These are actually tied in parallel with each other, meaning your amp draw goes up, so it's going to give me 200 amp hours of batteries, and the voltage is going to stay the same, so it'll be about, you know, it says it's rated at 51.2 volts, but they are usually a little bit higher than that. So that's my problem. They have been dying pretty quickly. So this is my generator line coming in right here. This gives 120 volts AC to both of my inverters. These convert that to DC and then send the power back into my batteries, so I have usable power to use throughout the night. But even when I charge my batteries, they are still dropping off fairly quickly. After it gets down to about 50%, it drops quick. And it doesn't stay very high for very long either. So I think I have a bad battery in the mix here, which I could probably figure it out pretty easily, but I just don't want to, you know, I think these are warranted, but I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to send it back. I hope they just, I need to get with customer service sometime and see what's going on for sure. But overall, the batteries have been kind of a bust, I'm not going to lie. But, you know, that's all part of the experience. I suppose it could be way worse, but, you know, it's just kind of annoying when you spend, I think they're $400 a battery right now, which I actually paid about double that when I bought them. So they were $700, $800 a battery, which is not cheap for batteries. So anyway, what my whole system here is, the 2 inverters, this one I use as a inverter and a battery charger. This one I just use as a battery charger. So I'm fused right here. The one with the inverter is fused at 100 amps DC. Just for the charger, it's fused at 50 amps DC. So if I, you know, overdraw, it will trip those breakers and it'll allow me to not have a problem. But overall, it's been a pretty nice experience. The generator has ran quite a bit because my batteries are not keeping up. So it's definitely been a learning curve, a big learning curve, because it should be all hooked up right. Not saying I'm a rocket scientist or anything like that, but I've done a lot of research about it. So, and I believe that everything is hooked up correctly. So if you guys have any idea what might be going on before I, you know, send a battery back or contact support to get a new battery sent to me, let me know what you think. I appreciate you guys very much for watching. This is my this is my solar system. This is everything that I have so far. I'm definitely going to be adding more stuff to it. It's worked out pretty well so far. For the most part, it powers everything I want, but the batteries are dying pretty quickly, which 200 amp hours isn't a lot of battery storage, but most of the time I haven't been running the mini split because it's actually been depleting the batteries when I'm not here. I'm not living here full time quite yet, but just with a load of about 100 watts for the refrigerator, it runs every once in a while. It doesn't consistently run. It has been dying pretty consistently, so let me know what you guys think. And I appreciate you guys very much for watching my channel. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We're getting pretty close to 200 subscribers, which I am absolutely stoked about. I did not expect that last video to get so much attention, but I thank you guys very much for it, and definitely be on the lookout for some more videos because I'm going to be posting a lot. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is my system, and this is Jake, and I'll see you guys around.